Hey, welcome to the RobCast podcast. I'm Dr. Robert Benson, and this is where conversations are grounded in truth. Well, since we picked up 92 again, in case you don't know what 92 is, that's 45 and 47 combined. So Trump is now known as 92. He's had a bunch of impact on a lot of industries, number 92. So what I've asked a couple of really, really good friends of mine who are part of the entertainment industry to come in and talk it up about it. The two guys I've asked to join me are Mr. Christopher Mann, a renowned actor. You've seen his filmography. We're going to talk quite a bit to him. And the chairman and CEO of the Nazca Global Network, Mr. Ed Grobes. Both guys are ironically from my hometown, Chester, Pennsylvania. I'm very, very excited to have both of them join us today and give us an update on this industry, not just from because of 92, but just there's a number of things that are impacting the industry. But first, let me just say hello to both of them. Hello, Chris. How are you tonight?
I'm great, Robert. How are you?
I'm doing good. And Ed, how are you doing, sir?
Hey man, I'm doing great.
All right, great. It's good to hear you. So first, let's talk to Chris a little bit. Chris, talk about your filmography and what's going on with you today, and what have you been up to?
Well, I know a lot of people still remember me from The Wire as Tony Gray. That never goes away, no matter where I go. The movie Loving, those are a few things from the past. Some work in the Creed 2. Most recently, I think, matter of fact, the last time I spoke to you guys, there was a series that I had just done that just came out when we did the interview, so I don't think anybody saw it. It's called The Calling, that was on Peacock.
Mhm.
So that was that. And this past year, I've done some work on Law and Order, SVU, um, Apple TV series called Dope Thief that I worked on, and Task that was on HBO. And as a matter of fact, they just got nominated for a Golden Globe recently too.
Oh,
So really
outstanding.
good series.
Okay.
At the Good Day Good Health Store, we believe wellness isn't one size fits all. It's about movement, nourishment, mindset, and showing up for your life. Shop with purpose. Invest in your health. Visit gooddayhealthstore.com and start your next good day today.
Yeah, Chris, we were talking about your filmography. Continue to speak with us about where you are and what you have going on.
Yeah, well, I was saying, a lot of people still remember me from The Wire, playing Councilman Tony Gray. That never goes anywhere. That's the gift that keeps giving. Um, it does. It really does. Then the movie Loving, of course, that was a great piece that I was privileged to work on. More recently, though, in fact, the last time I spoke to you, I had just a series called The Calling that was on Peacock. It just started airing, so nobody really got a chance to see it. I don't think that at the time. That turned out to be a really good piece.
Mhm.
I had a great time on that because I got to work with a director who was also a very big producer who produced the very first SAG production that I ever did, Homicide: Life on the Streets, Barry Levinson. And he actually directed the first episode that I did on The Calling. I did 4 episodes. And so that was like I don't know, that was like one of those full circle moments, man. The guy who produced the first SAG production I ever did, now he's actually directing me, one on one, and that was really great, man. And
Mhm.
he's a legend in the industry, I guess you would say. Barry Levins he's major. So, but I did that. We didn't get a chance to talk about that, like I said, because it had just started airing. More recently, this past year, I worked on Law and Order SVU again.
Mhm.
I did some work on a series called Task that was on HBO, and then Dope Thief, which is an Apple TV series. And those were great too, man. And there was little things about each one that you always going to remember. Task was great because I got to work with Mark Ruffalo, of course,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I got directed by somebody who was uh, I guess one of my it's funny. Me and my wife always had a inside joke about Hollywood crush we had for, like she had somebody, and somebody else was my Hollywood crush. So she always used to say that Sally Richardson was my Hollywood crush, and she actually directed the episode of Task that I worked on. So it was great to meet her, man. She was a talented young lady, man, and that was an honor. And Mark, like I said, working with Mark Ruffalo, who recently made some really heartfelt statements on the red carpet at the what's the word? What's the award show that they just had it the other night? The
Golden Globes. Yeah.
Golden Globes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He was on the red carpet, man, and I already had respect for him anyway. I had a great time working with him, but to listen to him express himself about the current situation was really moving.
Well, before we get to Eddy Gee, I wanted to ask you, didn't you say you were nominated for a Golden Globe? Talk to us.
I was nominated for a Golden Globe?
I thought that's what you said.
Oh, no. I was saying I should be. You know what I mean? But you know what? No, I'm put that out in the universe already, Robert. I'm going to take that.
We got you. Okay.
But there's one. I don't know if you want to hear. There's one other piece that I can mention that I'm waiting to come out right now. I did do a film with a Japanese production company called Dear Stranger. There's a director, this young Japanese director, Tetsuya Mariko, directed this film, and it's a really nice piece. I can give you somewhat a synopsis. It's about an immigrant family, Japanese man and a Taiwanese wife who are in this country with a young child, and it just deals with a circumstance that takes place, and they're I don't want to give too much away because it hasn't been released here yet, but let's just say I'm a detective, and I have one of the leads in the film, and it's a really thought-provoking piece. The director did a lot of work working on the film, and there's a lot of subtext and things that relate to the story that you have to really get your mind into it. It's not a sit down. It's just you can guess what's going on. It's a lot going on in the film, but it's a really good movie. It's a really great movie. So I'm really looking forward to that being released in the U.S.
Hey, thanks for the update on it. Well, let's talk a little bit to Eddy Gee, and let's find out what he's been up to. Ed Grobes, talk to us, my man. How you doing?
Good, brother. Good. Let me say something before I get started about Chris Mann, the actor, the great actor. Every time I turn on the TV, I see this guy as a detective, as some kind of law enforcement. So if I ever get in trouble and call 911, I'll be calling him to solve the crime. I trust you, brother. I trust you. What happened to me, man?
Yeah, I'd be like, Ed, well, bro, I put something on your comments there.
Hey, he's been on The Wire. I've seen him on Law and Order. I saw you in, there was a movie with George Clooney, right?
Oh, yeah. Michael Clayton.
Michael
I
Clayton.
played it. I wasn't copying that. I sure was.
Hey, man. I mean, I would be sitting there watching TV. Even a commercial would pop up. I'm watching TV and a healthcare commercial pops up. There's my guy. There's Chris. What's going on here, man?
Yeah, that's
You're like
funny.
the Beyonce of TV, man.
I turned out to be that guy. Oh, that's that guy again. You guys know my name. Other folks just know me by face. I think I know that guy.
Yeah.
I get that in the markets. You on television, right? I just turn to my wife and say, I think they got me. I think they got me.
Hey, it's great, man, and proud of you for what you're doing, and continue doing your work, man. And
I appreciate it.
Dr. Benson, as far as the climate we're in now, it's kind of tough to be an actor in the industry, in the entertainment industry, period, because there's so many different things you have to deal with. I think one of the biggest things that is a blessing and a curse is how everything is connected. So when you talk about social media and all the channels and all the different content platforms, it's good for a person who's in the entertainment industry. But the bad part is everybody sees everything you do. So it's difficult for you to walk in that space and at the same time be able to be who you are, right? So I see a lot of controversies going on where people get canceled out because of something they said, or some people get canceled because they didn't say anything. It's almost like a win lose or lose lose situation, right? So you have to pick your battles
Mhm.
whenever something's going on. Now, instead of being socially conscious about it, you have to look at your brand and say, hey, will this risk me losing everything? Is it worth me losing everything just to have a comment on a political situation or something like that? So I just think that we live in a time where it's litigious and it's just dangerous to be able to have a good, clean conversation with people.
But what's your remedy to that, Ed? What do you recommend for people who are in the industry that do what you do to deal with those types of uncertainty, if you will?
Well, one thing is I think you need to do your research,
Mhm.
okay? Which means don't speak on something you don't know anything about, because that'll get you real quick, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of information we get is hearsay. So instead of finding out the truth, people just repeat it, regurgitate it, and end up getting in trouble. The other thing is you have to, balance it out. Is the consequence of me speaking on this situation worth it for my family, for my career, for all those things? You really do have to think about that before you speak. It's just really a matter of being conscious and deliberate about what you say. And if you do that, there's no 100% chance that you're always going to be able to express yourself without repercussion. But at least you thought about it and you can stand on what you said.
I'd like to propose that question to Chris. Chris, you do a
Yeah.
lot of things, and there's always some sort of lawsuit going on surrounding content of some sort. What are some recommendations you have from a performance standpoint, or do you have any input regarding the legalities and the copyright issues and things of that sort?
Uh, okay. Well, wait a minute. Now, it depends. Now, are you talking about in regards to what Ed was just saying, and as far as as far as you're being vocal about certain situations that are taking place, or are you talking about like with this AI thing, whether or not you're overstepping boundaries and using too much, personal data and somebody else's um, intellectual property? You know what I mean? It's really a fine line right now. I find that even when I'm on social media, like when certain things are taking place, I'll have to question. Like I've actually typed out like a long paragraph about my opinion on something, and it said, you know what? Just like Ed was saying, it's not worth me putting it out there. But at the same time, you think to yourself, like, is this something that I'm supposed to say because it has to be said?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Did God put this on my spirit to put it out there to say what it needs to be said, or am I being true to myself by muzzling myself? You know what I mean? Because there's you, and then there's the entertainer, but then there's still you,
Yeah.
and what I'm saying. It's a delicate balance on that, man. I mentioned earlier about Mark Ruffalo on the red carpet the other night, and he made a heartfelt thing that I can't remember the brother's name. He was interviewing him on the carpet. And he asked him like, "How much fun is it to be inside there?" And Mark said, "To be honest, man," he said, "I just can't ignore what's going on out here." You know what I mean? He says people can't, people being harassed on the streets, people having a hard time, getting medical care and la da 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 da. He really went in, and I was like,
Mhm.
wow. I was like, how many? And then the funny part was like most of the major news outlets talked about the Golden Globes, but nobody mentioned Mark Wahlberg's statement on the carpet. Like they don't even want to put his comments out there after he made them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's I don't know what country we're in no more. Freedom of speech just seems to be, it's been handcuffed.
Well, the thing that's interesting is that I wonder, is there some sort of attachment to your headliners? Because, from the industry, they seek out people like yourself to lead projects. And I'm just wondering if there's some sort of attachment with the content, what the performance is. Are you held to some sort of due diligence standard is, I guess, kind of what I'm wondering about that.
I haven't had anybody say anything to me about, guard yourself, be careful what you say, in working on projects. I haven't had that discussion with anyone. I guess it's one of those things is you play at your own risk pretty much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you do the work that you're doing for us, we're good, but yeah, that you do have to be somewhat cautious, in the right place, right time, right circumstance. And it's changing every day. That's the other part. It's not like it's what you can say today you might not be able to say tomorrow, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So it's a delicate playing field that we're on right now.
So just to kind of put you on the spot and ask you the hard question, is 92's presence what's changing the industry? Is that what you're trying to convey? Or you just think that it's something that's progressively occurring, or due to AI, or more people are paying attention than they did in the past? Or what's your thoughts on that?
He's definitely changing the atmosphere around. You know what I mean? People are getting pulled over riding down the street. I just saw today a kid in Target, 16-year-old, got pulled out of Target, and they had him I guess they had him in their truck or whatever. They roughed him up. The kid came out the thing crying, man. You know what I mean? It's like what is this? Where are we at right now? And can you say anything about it? You know what I mean? I guess you guys, was it Lisa Noem, whatever her name is? What's the Noem? The DHS person. She's the head of
Department of Homeland Security. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You hear some of the things that they're saying. It's like, it's almost like they put that. It's almost like they're doing a Jedi mind trick on society, and they say things, and they feel as though if they keep a straight face and they say it, with determination and that assertiveness, that you're going to believe what they say, because I'm not flinching from what I'm saying. It's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? It's like, stop playing. It's really weird though. It's really weird, bro. I've never seen this in a situation like this. Last time we spoke, this was not the world we were living in.
Yeah. So Eddy, what is your take on this? Is it about the same, or do you think we were destined to get to this point, or is it because of 92?
Well, it depends on the topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are definitely topics that are focused on 92 that people are talking about, but at the same time, again, with society the way it is, there is I don't want to say there's more freedom in negativity than there used to be. So what I mean by that is there's pros and cons to being able to say what you want to say. Okay. Free speech is one thing, but also hate is not really locked down like it used to be. It's okay to hate people now, right? It's okay to say that group is this and that group is that on everybody's part, and it's accepted more than it used to be. Okay. And that's in every situation. So I think that's a road that we were going to go down anyway. It might have been accelerated, because of what's going on right now, for sure. But we have to get back to communication. That's what it comes down to. When you can talk to somebody and respect their side of it, or understand their side of it. See, here's what makes that difficult. If somebody comes to you and tells you that something that you are doing or believing is wrong, but then when they do it, it's okay. Well, I can't respect you then. Okay. But, tell me, okay, this is how you feel about this. That's great. This is how I feel. How can we have some common ground? That's how it's supposed to be. I don't know if we'll ever get to that point. I won't even say back to that point, but to a point when you can just respect each other and talk about it. But I think that's really the biggest issue right now is everybody has their tribe. And let's go back to media, right? When we were young, we're going to talk about our age here, fellas. When we were kids, there's only 3 channels
Yeah.
on TV, and there were 4 on UHF that were telling our age, right? So
Yeah.
You had to spin dial there back then, yeah.
That's it. That's
And,
when your
and,
mom
the-
had
and the aluminum foil on the antenna.
right?
All
Now,
that. Yeah.
there is a channel for everything. So now
Yeah.
we used to watch, everybody watched the same news. Everybody watched the same shows. You got the same information. So it was clearer what was going on. But now if I am tending to watch this type of news or show, that's all I'm watching. So I don't even really believe anything else. Right. So the problem is I keep getting fed this because that's what I'm going to gravitate to. Right. So now you're brainwashing yourself. It's not them brainwashing you because you turn that channel on.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's one of the biggest issues. Media can help you, but it can also put you in a silo where you're just continuing to feed on that same, whether it's good or bad, you're feeding on that same type of information.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Christopher.
Now,
Go ahead.
I don't know if you noticed that you're talking about the news. Now, if everybody's watching the same mainstream news, from the East Coast, Central, and West Coast, if you ever notice, they're all on script. They're all. I mean, they say the exact same lines when they come on. The broadcast comes on. You hear it. You hear the. I don't know if you've seen the clips. They actually have clips out now where they show them all the way across the country on every major news network saying the exact same thing. So to some degree, we are still getting fed that. It all depends on if you venture out to other news outlets. But if you're on the mainstream, you're going to get the same narrative.
Yeah.
Well,
Same narrative.
my thing about it is a couple things. One, I think that it's expected that some of the behaviors we're seeing, people kind of fall in line with the way that they think they're supposed to behave. I mean, look at all of your reality shows. I mean, that's tomfoolery at the nth degree to me. And it's entertainment, and it's supposed to be reality, which is an oxymoron because it's not. The other thing I think about the news is this not informed or not designed to keep you informed? It's designed to keep you emotional. So depending on your view, or as you indicated, Chris, what channel you're turning to, they're trying to get a certain reaction out of you. It has nothing to do with the actual truth or what the actual news was. I think a big problem that we have with the media now is that much of the coverage that we get is uninformed. It's really designed for you to support a particular narrative. That's just my opinion of it. But let me ask both of you one more question, and we're going to take a quick break. Let's start with you, Chris. I'd like to know what do you think is your best work that you've done? Or do you think you've done your best work? We hope it's not.
No, I haven't done my best work, but this last piece that I just did, I'm thinking that's going to rate pretty much somewhere near the top. The Dear Stranger piece that I mentioned to you, and I think that's why I'm kind of like so anticipating the release of it, because it's a really good piece, and I have a supporting lead in this, and just the fact that it's an international piece as well. This is an international piece. It was shot in New York, but it's a Japanese production team, and it was like a collaboration, U.S., Japan, and Taiwan. It's a collaboration of all those places that came together to put this piece together. So, and to be an African American Black, but we change our titles all over the place. But in the lead position or one of the lead roles in that is for me, it's a good thing. I put a feather in my cap with that one.
Outstanding. Okay, Eddy Gee, talk to us. What's your best work? And I know you've done quite a few things over the years.
I'm like Chris. I haven't done my best work yet, and a lot of times, you get out when you're doing your craft, you just put your head down and do it, and then maybe somewhere down the road you look back and you say, "Wow, I really did some things," and other people might say, "Wow, look at that, look at this," but I can't think of anything. I mean, I've worked with a lot of celebrities and actors, such as Chris. He knows he's been with some of the top actors in the world. Um, I would say my best work, okay, is with an organization called Duffy's Hope in Delaware, where the organization serves young kids in the city. It provides after school programs and um, AIDS education, all kinds of things. They even have a home for young women. So working with those guys, things like that, I think is what I would consider the best work, because we work with them on their celebrity basketball game to help produce that and do media for it, and it raises money for that organization. So those type of things I feel better about than working for the president and working for celebrities and things like that, because
Nice.
it reaches real people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is great, man, because it seems like both of you are pretty much at the point where the best is yet to come. And that's kind of what I was getting to, is you guys are professionals thriving in the field. And not everyone is fortunate enough to do that, because unless you have a niche, and that's something we can touch on in the next topic, people aren't really surviving. And when we get back, let's talk a little bit about things like that. People being able to sustain a living is the best yet to come for them. And some of the other things we were talking about that can impact the industry. But this is Dr. Robert Benson with the RobCast podcast, where conversations are grounded in truth. And we have the great Christopher Mann and the spectacular Ed Grobes. And we'll be right back.
I know you are sick of being lied to. I'm here to tell you the truth. The RobCast podcast, every week, we talk about what really matters: leadership, faith, relationships, mental health, veterans issues, real life, real clarity, no gossip, no noise, just honest conversations that help you think deeper and live smarter. Watch now, the RobCast podcast. Join me. Let's get grounded in truth.
Hey, welcome back to the RobCast podcast, where conversations are grounded in truth. I'm Dr. Robert Benson with Christopher Mann and Ed Grobes, two Chester, Pennsylvania natives and very, very talented and renowned people in their fields, particularly the entertainment industry. We talked about how 92's impact is kind of changing things, but there's other things that kind of contribute to the way things are going now too. But the one thing I want to visit is the climate and the survival of entertainers now. Now let's ask Christopher, since you're an entertainer yourself, and a lot of it is based on longevity. You don't see people with long careers and things of that sort anymore. Talk to us about some of the things that are contributing to that, and what can we look for, or what do you think is some problems in that area, if you will?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have with these influencers now.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, agencies actually have departments for social media influence. You got your actors, you got your writers, you got this, that, and the other. Now they actually have influencers as a department in a lot of these agencies. So that's and these a lot of the influencers are not people who studied any craft. I mean, you might have a little personality, you get online. It's almost like reality TV. You know what I mean? And they get an audience and people like them, and all of a sudden they got all these followers. And productions, instead of going for the talent, will go because they think they got enough seats, not enough people to fill the seats now, because they want to watch this person, whether they're talented or not. You know what I mean? And then they get on set, and the director's giving them direction, and they don't know up from down. But that cuts into our work. The people who've been sitting around waiting for your agent to call, waiting for your audition to grind, and they're pulling in influences in to get the work from you. Another issue is, and this goes into the whole union and production side of things. Like over the past 3 years or so, I've lost a lot of work outside of my area. Say like in Atlanta, LA, Chicago, um, where I've had an audition and they're interested. They say, hey, we like him, but can he be a local hire? I'm like, what? It's nothing local about Philly and Atlanta. There's nothing local about Philly and Chicago or LA. But they want me to come out of my pocket to pay to go there, to put myself in a hotel, and then I got to find my way and forth myself back and forth to set. This is stuff that they normally supposed to cover. And the union actually has rules and regulations for what's considered local hire and what's not. So they already know. But there's enough people out there that are thirsty enough to backstab you to say, "Oh, well, I'll take it if he don't take it," and they know that. But as a union member, anybody who undercuts and circumvents the actual rules and regulations is a scab worker. You know what I mean? So you're in the game. You're trying to play it straight up. I'm going on talent. I'm not going on because I live close by. The audition came to me. I read it. You liked it. You want me for the role, but now you want me to pay to come work for you. You know what I mean? It's almost like being like subcontract. If you're a subcontractor for a big company, once they hire you, you get your business card and everything else. You charge it up to their account because you're working under their business model. You know what I mean? But you're subcontracted. That's what we are. We're subcontracted. So once you hire me, it's up to you to get me there. I'm there to do the work. I'm there to be the actor. You know what I mean? I got the script. You know what I mean? I'm working on that role. When I get there, I'm gonna lay it down like you want it. Everybody's gonna be happy, and I'm going back home. But no, they want you to come out of your pocket. Now the productions don't even want to pay for it. You know what I mean? So I've run into that a lot. I mean, brother, when I tell you a lot, I've run into it a lot the past few years, and it's getting worse. And then when you bring it up to the union, the union tells you, well, so many people are willing to do it. I'm like, yo, but that's not. Why do you have the rule in the first place? Because now you're not creating the atmosphere where we have jobs with dignity and respect. We're getting walked on. You know what I mean? And matter of fact, Trump's first time in office, he got rid of our ability to even write that stuff off on our taxes. We used to be able to write off, your travel and lodging and all that stuff. I can't even write that off now. You know what I mean? So now, so 92, he has had some effect on this. And that was his first term. It's not even this term.
Well, Chris, let me ask you this about that. There's this trend, if you will, towards miniseries versus a one project. And it would seem to me that if you're talking about a miniseries, then your expenses would increase exponentially depending on, how long that project lasts and do you need to be on site for the entire project? How is that impacted? Because I know you were in the dope thing there, if I'm terming it correctly, up in Philly. That thing lasts for weeks, I'm sure,
Oh yeah, well, for me but see now where I am now, if a production is working here, I don't worry about the local hire because I'm within the parameter for being a local hire. I'm in the area. I'm close enough. I can get out of bed, and actually, I prefer to get out of bed and roll to work. You know what I mean? Staying in hotels and all that, that's a bummer sometimes, man. You know what I mean? Because you're out there by yourself. At least when you come home, you can get grounded, get back into your space and relax and get ready to go back out and work the next day if you're scheduled to get to work again. But when you're out of town, it could be a pain in the behind after a while. It's fun the first couple of days, but that can get boring, man. Yeah. So locally, I don't mind doing the local work. I love the opportunity. I'm gonna tell you something that happened. All right. So I'm not even gonna mention the name of the show or nothing. But anyway, there's a show that was on that I worked on, and I guess I gotta say it was local. But anyway, and this is another issue about sustainability and being able to maintain a working career, because a lot of workers or actors are coming from overseas now, especially Black actors. There's a bunch of them from England and Africa. They're coming over. They're getting a lot of the work, and a lot of us are not getting the work. And this one particularly stood out for me. And not that I have anything against the individual, but the character's background was they were a cop on this particular program. And their background was they were raised in Chester, PA.
Really?
I got one day, one scene out of the whole season. But here's somebody from overseas somewhere comes and works the whole season, playing a role for somebody who actually came from where I am from. And I got 28 years in the industry, but I couldn't get a role like that because you got to get somebody from over there to play somebody from my hometown.
Well, Chris, let me ask you one more question about that.
I'm just saying, it just seems so weird to me, man. You know what I mean?
But how much do you think racism is playing into it? I mean, because some roles have to inherently be determined by someone's race. If it's a history piece or you're telling the story of someone's life, but in general, is there an issue with racism?
Well, I mean, there's always more work for other ethnicities than it is for blacks or African American. Like I said, we change our titles, but yeah, it's always more work for them. But if you've noticed, like um, David Oyelowo played Dr. Martin Luther King. Um, um, this person that I was just talking about that was supposed to be a cop from Chester was a black person from overseas who played somebody from Chester, PA.
Mhm.
So they're bringing folks over to play roles for people who are here. And their characters are supposed to be from here. It's not like, this person was from England and they're playing somebody from England living in America. They're playing us. You know what I mean? So why is it not feasible to make sure that you take care of home and let the people here make a living and you're giving money? And I'm sure a lot of them might be sending it back there wherever they come from.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But we're here, so it's almost like a concerted effort to make sure we don't get too much further than we are.
Mhm. You see,
You know,
one of the
it's
things.
like,
One of the things I would ask about that though is because there's a union in you're supposed to be able to work towards some sort of retirement or social security or something like that. Are there protections and things in places for entertainers to be able to sustain, as you said, or count on something later on?
they, that's a great question. Um, yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, okay, if you've been fortunate enough to work and you've had some, a lot of series regular work on television, where you've been on TV for, even a five season series where you worked every episode almost, and like a lot of people that worked on The Wire that were series regulars, I'm sure they made out pretty good during those 5 seasons. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're doing, you're doing reoccurring roles, you're here and there, for one season, you might not be back the next season, or if you only get 2 episodes here and there, that's just bill money. You know what I mean? You're not making enough to really, the kickback and say, all right, I'm throwing a party for you, get a car, and you can't do all of that, man. You're lucky if you get the car. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping. It's just a tough business, man. It really is. See, you can already peel off a bunch of layers here, because then
No,
you sit
peeling
back,
layers. We're peeling layers.
yes, you sit
Let us
back and you
know.
look at that, and then you look at. I mean, you hear the conspiracies about this person did this to get there. Oh, did you hear what that person did to get there? All these dark secrets, these hidden societies and groups that people are associated with that seem to be putting them on. You know what I mean? And then it becomes a question: that are they really selling their souls to get what they want? To get this little piece of the rock? You know what I mean? It's like, so, and you don't know. I mean, if you're not part of that group, nobody's going to tell you. You know what I mean? So you don't know if it's that, or if it's if it's just really your hard work and you've just been lucky and you just hit one across the plate. You just don't know.
That's a really good point. That
Yeah.
leads me to my question for Ed. Ed, let's talk about AI and how AI is serving to, I guess, somewhat shrink those opportunities for entertainers as well, if that's what's happening.
Well, I'll give you an analogy. Okay. When a new technology comes along, there is a certain period you go through phases. Okay. So the first phase is it's so exciting. Everybody wants to know more about it. Everybody wants to do it. Everybody loves it. Everybody's amazed by it. And then once it becomes entrenched in your everyday life, then you get used to it and people balance it out. It slows down. And then the people who really know how to utilize it to improve what they're doing and not really always replace what they're doing. And then the next phase is something else comes along. Okay. I remember when a music video used to cost $30,000 to $100,000 for the production. But when they when they came out with the DSLR cameras where you could get the cinematic view with a lower price piece of equipment, well, that $30,000 music video, now Cousin Pookie was doing it for $200, right? So it looked good, but it was flawed because he didn't know what he was doing. So you could see there was a difference. And so what happened as time went on, the money had more value. So people said, I would rather pay Pookie $200 because it looks like a music video, even though the music's out of sync and it's jump cutting everywhere. They start to accept that, right? So society accepts that standard. The standard drops. So people accepted that. And then the cycle came back around because all of the material that was created was, I won't say low budget, but it wasn't the production quality it used to be. So everybody got used to that. So then what happened? People who went back to doing high production, high value media, they stood out. So they started to get the money again. And, you know, it's a cycle. Same thing is going to happen with AI. When you see AI, the first thing people think is, I'm going to make a cartoon of myself flying around like a superhero. That's cool. That's great. But does that help your business? How does that help your business? Right?
Yeah.
The smart people are going to take AI and they're going to implement the strategies that help their current business run faster and better. So they don't really have to be taken out from AI, but they institute it and work along with it so that they can stay on top of things, right? So what's going to happen when everybody starts their AI business and AI does something and you don't know what's wrong because you have no idea what to do in that business, then it's going to come back to bite you, okay?
That's true.
Because you're going to get exposed. Okay, so you're going to start an AI agency to manage somebody's advertising, and you've never done advertising before, so you're relying on AI to do it. So when AI gives you, because AI, you have to talk to it, you have to understand how to coax it to give you the right things. But if he gives you something wrong and you don't know, you're going to keep on following down that path, right? So that's where the winners are going to come in. But then there's the ugly side where people use it as a weapon or take advantage. So you have, right now you have deep fakes, you can't trust anything, right? And this is already, I noticed when you look at social media and look at, what's the first thing people do? They say, is that AI? Is that real?
Exactly.
You don't believe anything you see now, right?
That's
so that's the negative side of it. You can't believe what you see. Okay.
That's right.
So it's like, that's the cycle. There's a cycle going on. And when you get to what Chris will tell you, when you get to the entertainment industry, you have humans who've been acting all this time. And what they're fighting for now with the new rules in their union is to protect themselves from, okay, what's going to stop a movie theater from not hiring any actors? I'm going to create an AI Chris Mann. Okay. He's going to play all my detectives in my films, and I'm not going to pay anybody because I created this person. And trust me, if you look at AI, if you looked at how it looked in January and then how it looked in this January, it's completely different. It looked like a little cartoon. Now it's to where it almost looks like a human being. Next year it's going to be even better. But so who knows where it's going to go.
But you know what I was going to say, man, it's not just with pictures and such, it's writing too. I mean, all you have to do is slam a few keywords into one of these programs and it gives you 2 pages, and
Yeah.
it's so there isn't any real authorship anymore. That's a really great point.
Well, you know what?
Yeah,
Real
I
quick,
was. Oh, good.
Good, Chris.
what you have to do,
I'm sorry.
right? So, okay, if I'm a writer, okay, you have to say, okay, how can I use AI to help me out? Because if you say, well, I'm not using AI, I'm a real writer, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
then what's going to happen? You're going to go the way of Smith Corona, and there's no more typewriters, right? So
Right.
you have to get involved in it somehow. But like you said, if you don't, you're going to get replaced by it. Certain jobs can be replaced by it,
Yeah.
other ones can't. So
Right.
you have to make yourself valuable to where AI can't destroy your career or your job.
Yeah, and that's kind of like to the point I was going to make about the entertainment industry as far as actors are concerned. I'm hoping that the best scenario we may be able to come up with for this is like there may end up being just another category or genre of films because
Hmm.
although the AI is starting to look more and more natural, I'm not sure that artificial intelligence can actually create the nuances and organic life nature of human beings because like sometimes we don't know what we're going to do until we do it.
Right.
It's not programmed, you know what I mean? It's just like I get a scene and somebody might change a word and do it a different way, and I got a whole different way I'm going to respond to it, whereas AI is probably programmed that's going to do it one particular way. It's not going to give you that real human nature to it. And and I would hope that I don't know, somewhere down the line when they do the negotiations for these contracts that maybe if they do that, then they have to specify, well, this is going to be an AI generated film, and the audience needs to know that before they go pay their money, whether they want to go see that or not.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Or if this is all live action, these are real actors, blah blah blah. And I do know that they're going to use it in post production. Sometimes if a line needs to be changed, they can actually use your voice to change the line without you being there. So they want to pay you to come back in, but there might be some kind of stipend given to you because they used your voice again. Maybe you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, even some scenes. I mean, it may be some scenes where maybe if it's not too detailed, where they could actually use an AI image of you to do something that you didn't do that they needed. They could just pick it up real quick and not have to have you come back in and do it. I don't know. I'm just saying that might be, but at least if they have to pay you to use your image to do it, then at least you're getting money for it, and you didn't have to be there. Even you know what I mean. So
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't read the future, but I'm just trying to imagine how it's going to go.
Well, the advent of the cell phone made everyone a potential filmmaker. I mean, I think we all believe we are on some levels anyway. So, but let's shift gears a little bit. We understand that this AI thing is changing things. That, in addition to some of the influences of '92 that we spoke about before, but some of the things I think are going to continue to be the same. And maybe you guys can correct me on this, but I'm thinking now about stereotypical roles and things of this sort. Chris, do you see any changes coming? Are we going to start being depicted in a more professional manner as African Americans, or do you think we're lending ourselves to that continuous degradation, if you will? Because it's all about conditioning, as we look at things.
Yeah, well, you know what? That cell phone, everybody can shoot a movie situation is kind of perpetuates the old stereotypes. Because if you go to Tubi and you see a lot of the films that, I would say amateur or non-union productions, a lot of them are all street, ghetto, drugs, blah 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 blah. So to some degree, our people are perpetuating that on their own. You know what I mean? It's like it's all they understand. A lot of them, you know what I mean? So that's all they write about. That's all they put out there. So they're pigeon tying themselves with that. Me myself, fortunately, like Ed was saying, every time he looks up, he sees me. I'm playing a cop. I'm playing this. I'm playing a
Right.
doctor. I mean, so I've been fortunate enough not to get kind of pulled into that area. I mean, even on The Wire, I played a councilman. I mean, as much as I hate politics, but I was there. You know what I mean? But but it was. I'm fortunate. I feel fortunate. That I can pull that out. And it's funny when I remember years ago when I first started taking classes. I guess I had a dialect, a regional dialect that I had from Chester. And when I first started taking, they gave me a thing, say, "Hey, you got to break that. You got to break that regional dialect you have there, because you're not going to get a lot of work, because you're going to be held into
Yeah.
that kind of work. You know what I mean? That work that you know what I'm saying. The diction and your vocabulary and all that. They really they ran that down my throat. So I was tongue tied, tongue twisted, and doing all kind of things to try to get my speech, somewhat on a generic level, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so that um, they bring in so many people from over in Europe,
Yeah.
and a lot of them speak the Queen's English. So
Yeah.
when they translate over into speaking American English, they're like their use of the language is on par with what their standard for us to speak is. So they're not having a problem with it at all. So that would lead them into the negative stereotypes when it comes to the roles.
I see. So, Ed, from a production standpoint, are you seeing anything along these lines where we continue to pigeonhole ourselves into particular areas?
Hey, listen. I think again, one of the benefits of the way things have transformed is we didn't have platforms to get the work or show the work, right? And not that it's the best situation right now, but if you go back, there were limited distribution platforms where you had to put work. So it was easy to fill it up with everybody else's stuff. Now that there's more platforms, matter of fact, now that you can create your own platform, like I have done a couple of times, you don't have to worry about you can put what you want on that platform, right? But
True.
You're not going to get connected with the big money that controls the larger markets, that determines who gets what, because everything is going by, like Chris said, how many people can you get in the seats? What's the profit margin on this? What's the return on this investment in this film? And when you deal with the middle and the smaller markets, you don't have that funding. So, you have to go where you fit. And sometimes it's better than it used to be, but it's still not where it should be. It's still not level for everybody. And Chris knows that.
Yeah, that's no question.
But the thing you said about that niche, if you will, it almost seems that AI takes away the necessity for people to be in a niche, if you will. It broadens the scope, and as you indicated before, it doesn't mean the quality is any better, but people can at least try or do just about anything because they're assisted by AI.
Yeah. And it's the same thing as the camera and the cell phone, right?
Right.
Because everybody has one and it's, high quality, there's pros and cons. The pros are you have all these creative people who have a story to tell, who would have never been able to express that story on a large platform, right? Like a YouTube, right? Or you have the quality platforms dropping down, but it's more acceptable, like we talked about before. So you have the pros and the cons of it, but I don't know. It depends on what perspective you have, what angle you're looking at it from, because there's so many platforms and there's something for everybody.
Right.
There's people, I don't care how that looks. I don't care how that sounds.
That's true.
I just like it, right?
Exactly.
So
and it's from whomever. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, let me just say it's been great having you both on the show. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you both to kind of sum up where you are now, what we can expect from you, and what trends do you see coming about in the future in the way of the industry and any other thing that you might think is impacting that. Let's start with you on this piece here. Talk to us about the future and where you are now and what's coming up. What does it look like to you?
Oh, you talking about Ed? Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Well, he was Ed earlier, so
I can't. We can't make up my mind who's who. Okay, yeah. You be you, be you, be you. All right.
Yeah, I'm Ed. That's my brother Ed. That's my other brother Ed.
Ed and Eddie. No, I think the future is what you make it, right? Because we can go to any position in time in history in our society and it's horrible or it's great or it depends on the person, right? So one thing I try to do is try to be optimistic every day. There's days you wake up and you look at the news or something and you're like, man, what's going to happen next, right? But then other days you wake up and something just comes over you when you feel energized and you feel like I'm feeling creative today. I feel like I'm on top of the world. And that's where I'd like to be most of the time because, your vision is clear, you have an idea. And I think the way things are shaping up with all these opportunities, that it's going to be somebody who's in our position, somebody who is not in a great deal of power, who's going to come up with that one idea that's going to change the world. And it takes creativity, it takes positivity, and it takes compassion, faith, and determination so that nothing's going to stop you from doing it. And I think that, to me, things are crazy, but it's been crazy before. So I just keep my head down, look at the prize, and just try to do what I need to do to make things better.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Grobes. All right, Christopher, we've shared some of your filmography on the show, and people have seen some of your pieces. They don't need to see that because you're a very renowned person anyway. So talk to us a little bit about what we can expect, or what do you think the future beholds for yourself and this industry in general?
I think Ed really gave a good analysis on the future. And the truth of the matter is, everything happens now. No matter where you are, no matter what happens, when you go to sleep and you wake up, you're still here in the moment, in the now. And that's the only thing that has any influence on what happens when the future happens, whenever it happens. You know what I'm saying? Because everything happens now. And matter of fact, when that future happens, guess when it's going to happen? Now. Everything happens in the now. It does. You can't live in the past. You can't live in the future. You have to live now. So how you treat it, how you feel about it, and how you position yourself, the positivity, whether you prayer, meditation, affirmations, whatever you need to keep your mind and your spirit in the place that it's supposed to be. That's what's going to determine how your future comes out. The things that we talked about, that's just observations from what I've been seeing. Doesn't mean it's going to be my story. You know what I mean? The negativity and things that we see. It's just things that you see. It's like you're riding down the road, you see signs. Well, I'm not taking that exit. I'm not taking that exit. You see all the stuff. So you have to stay focused. Keep your mind on what it is that you want. Like right now, I'm brushing off on an old script. I talked to somebody the other day. I let him read it. He loved it. This guy, he's a DP and he directs, and I can direct as well. So we may be working on that soon. I want to see if I got to find some money to get a shot. But it's a nice script that I wrote. I'm actually working on starting the acting class as well. You know what I mean? I think I want to put a class together and start teaching. I can almost 30 years in this. I've been up and down and all around, so I know it well enough so I can help pass it along. You pay it forward. You know what I mean? Show somebody else what it is that's expected of them if they're trying to get into this industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love that pay it forward thing. If nothing, you love doing something, that means you're going to put something back into it. And I think that's what both of you do a great job of doing. I've worked with both of you extensively. Well, I've been around you both and seen you work. So I just want to say you are two great examples of the way things are and the way they should be and being in the now. It makes me want to share a quick story about what you said, both of you actually talking about the future being now. I remember some years ago, my wife and I, we were just starting out and we didn't have a car. We get a car and the car runs out on us in the middle of a busy highway. So we get out the car and we have to get off the road. We walk over into this neighborhood and while we got this problem with the car, she and I are furious with each other. So these people look out the window and say, this one old white dude says, come here for a minute, you two. You look like you need some help. So he brings us in and lets us use his phone. And he says, well, one thing I want you guys to take from all this is that car being out there is nothing more than an event. You have to figure out and look at it like it's a window, like we're all sitting in here. And how are you going to conduct yourself while you're in that window? And that's exactly what you guys are, in my interpretation, is what you're referring to. What are you doing in the window now? And you guys, I think, are doing a great job in the window. So that's my take. And I just want to say thank you both for being on the RobCast podcast and definitely sharing your personal truths. And I appreciate it big time. But we'll get you back on the show in the near future. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, this is the RobCast podcast. I'm Dr. Robert Benson, and I've hung out with some great guys tonight. And I know these guys not just from the respective industries. We've chewed the same soil. I think we were all born in the same hospital too. But we will be back with you with like topics and keep you abreast and keep you informed. And this is Dr. Robert Benson, the RobCast podcast, where conversations are grounded in truth. And we'll talk to you next time.
Hey there. I just wanted to share a little bit about my book that I wrote by the name of Built. In that book, you're going to find some things about how to approach the bodybuilding fitness journey from a mentality standpoint, from a workout standpoint, how to approach your diet, how to approach getting on stage, overcoming the nervous jitters, as well as doing the proper reflection in the proper time frame, post-show, because your hormones are going to be all over the place. I talk about the politics in the industry, which really is not too much, the perspective of politics, as well as just having a longevity type mindset rather than a bucket list type get in, get out approach. So check it out. It's going to be a good read. It's not too long, and it's packed with a lot of just tidbits of hard-learned lessons that I've learned, trying to prevent, future bodybuilders from encountering the same hurdles that I did. I hope you enjoy.
At the Good Day Good Health Store, we believe wellness isn't one size fits all. It's about movement, nourishment, mindset, and showing up for your life. Shop with purpose. Invest in your health. Visit gooddayhealthstore.com and start your next good day today.
Thank you for watching the RobCast podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Don't forget to turn on notifications for all new weekly episodes.